Good evening. On Saturday night, 21-year-old Fidel Glasgow was stabbed to death in Coventry. Within hours, his grandfather, a legendary vocalist with The Specials, was on stage in front of thousands, paying an emotional tribute.
The Specials are synonymous with Coventry. Neville Staple has been with them since the early days of the 1970s. The band was playing at the city's Godiva Festival on Sunday when the crowd joined Neville's tribute to his grandson and called for an end to knife violence.
Well, our reporter Melissa Wright is at the scene of the attack. And Melissa, what's been the reaction to this weekend's events in Coventry?
Well, I think the poignancy of Neville Staple standing up on stage just hours after his grandson's death has really focused everyone's attention yet again on the tragic consequences of knife crime. Fidel was found here behind me. He was taken to hospital and died less than 12 hours after he was stabbed. A second man remains in hospital in a serious but stable condition. Well, detectives have been given more time to question a 23-year-old man in connection with the assault. He's also now been arrested on suspicion of Fidel's murder.
My grandson.
Words fail Neville Staple as he tries to pay tribute to his grandson.
So it's been a really tough 24 hours.
The Special singer was performing at Coventry's Godiva Festival yesterday, a day on from the death of Fidel Glasgow. The 21-year-old died in hospital on Saturday after being stabbed near the Club M nightclub in the city centre. On stage, Neville's wife Christine had a powerful message in the wake of Fidel's death.
We need to come together in our communities and find out what's wrong, what's going on. We really do. You want to have a fight on a football pitch, a rugby, a team on team. Do it a sensible way. You still have a winner, but no one's going to die.
Rashid Bayat runs the Positive Youth Foundation, where Fidel was involved with sport, music and volunteering. The foundation also provides education about the dangers of carrying knives. Rashid says listening to young people's views on what's going wrong is crucial.
It's something we take very seriously because one incident is one too many, and what we have to ensure is that young people are listened to, because this isn't a matter of choice. These things are happening and we have to understand why they're happening and work in partnership with other local stakeholders to ensure that we're just supporting and listening to what young people have to say. But the real crux of the matter is partnership working, in that people need to come together now and really understand why this has happened and start to listen to young people.
Fidel's family are still coming to terms with his death, but on stage they had a clear message.
We all need to do this together. It can't be done by one person alone, one politician alone. It's all of us. We need to take responsibility as well.
And finally, a musical tribute in Fidel's memory.
To my daughter, my grandson!
And Melissa, there was more violence in Coventry over the weekend, and I gather it involved police using a taser gun on a teenager. What more can you tell us about that?
Yes, this was after an incident in Canley on Saturday evening involving 5 teenagers. Police say a taser was used to try and detain a 17-year-old. He immediately went into cardiac arrest and is currently in a serious but stable condition in hospital. Well, the West Midlands Police say that the use of tasers is tightly controlled, that training is vigorous and that it requires a yearly refresher course. It's referred the incident to the Independent Office for Police Conduct. But this has raised questions about the use of tasers, especially on children and vulnerable people. Earlier we spoke to a lawyer in Leicester who's been campaigning against their use for 8 years.
If the officer is feeling threatened, then firstly there has to be tactics, the traditional tactics that are involved, trying to de-escalate the situation. But if not, backup needs to be called, and really as a last resort, a taser or any kind of lethal weapon to be used in those circumstances.
Well, clearly a very unsettling weekend of violence here in Coventry. But as you saw from those pictures at the Godiva Festival, this is a city determined to come together and tackle the problem.
Melissa, thank you for that. Well, elsewhere, Coventry's University Hospital has been